Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now. 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we're off. We're running another brand new live edition of Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And welcome into our Wednesday show. We've made it to the halfway point of the work week. Don't forget, today is party day here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Coming up tonight, I know the weather is wet and icky, kind of like one of those days today. But we still want you tonight. Tonight is the night. We want you to come out to Flow Indoor Trampoline Park here in Huntsville. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Talent Heating and Air. We want to see you out there tonight. All you have to do is bring a toy for admission to come on in. We have literally taken over the place tonight from 4 to 8 over at Flow Indoor Trampoline Park. All you need to do is bring a toy out there. Help us fill the Rambo Marine of Hazel Green boat. That is our goal tonight, is to fill the boat. We'd love to do way more than that, but our goal is to fill the boat. So once you get out there, if you bring a toy, you come out to Flow, what does it mean? Well, come on out. You get a round of miniature golf for sure. We're going to have other prizes for playing the miniature golf. So come on out there, challenge yourself to a little miniature golf. Bubby's Diner's going to be out there. We're going to have some food to enjoy. The drive will be out there from 5 to 7. So we've got all kinds of fun stuff. Plus, you can bring the kids. You bring a toy. You've got a family, bring a bunch of toys. Bring the entire family. Let them play around while you're enjoying Flow Indoor Trampoline Park tonight. So get on out there, 4 o'clock to 8. We want to see you out there tonight. So come on out here and have a good time. See, look, and I have a surprise coming this week, hopefully this week. I am hoping it comes this week. I do have a surprise for us here on the show. It's not anything real big, I'll tell you that, but it's coming. But we are in a party mood today, so I did bring the sugar. I have the sugar. Look, I have brought, I don't even know, they're not breakfast. They're not breakfast. It's by far not breakfast. But I did bring the sugar for us this morning.
Well, thank you, Scott. I can't have those for breakfast. I don't know how I would feel after that.
Well, they're I don't know. They are I should say they are specially made. Let's just say that.
Specially made?
Yeah, they were. I had to request these. I did not walk into a store and just buy these off the shelves. I grabbed them. They are specially made. So I did bring the sugar because it is a party day. So when you go to a party, like, remember when you were in grade school and you would have your birthday party and you would bring treats for the class. Tonight is our party night over at Flow. So I brought treats for this morning. So that's how we do it. See, did you not ever bring treats to school?
I mean, I did, but it was so long ago.
All right, you act like it was a long ago. It was, what, 10 years ago?
I mean,
yeah,
roughly. I mean, probably more than that. I mean, I'm 25.
Okay.
So yeah, probably about 15 years ago, maybe.
So I did bring treats for the class this morning, Drew. See, there we go. There are treats here for you to have a treat.
Yeah, looks like it. Doesn't look like Christmas tree cakes, but it looks like a sort of cake.
No. I still have the special one coming. This is not it. This was in honor of our Christmas party tonight over at Flow.
And so you're bringing these for for today and for our guests tonight at the show.
No, this is not for tonight. This is just for us to have one this morning.
Good Lord. I guess he's putting everybody in a coma, man. Look how many of those there are.
Now, this is for us to have one for us this morning. This isn't for tonight. No. Bubby's Diner is taking care of everybody tonight.
I just thought you might be bringing a bonus for the folks out there that's gonna.
No.
I'm still trying to recover from that half-pound peanut butter cup yesterday.
Did you actually eat it?
Did you eat it?
I ate a slice of it.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Tough, I figured it was.
It was just like a Reese's peanut butter pie.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically you slice it up like a pie. That's how you do it. I have not sliced any of my pie, but that's how you have to do it. You slice it like a pie.
256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline.
Well,
you want to join the program this morning on a wet and Wednesday, feel free to do so.
Well, I mean, we've got a great show lined up. We're going to start, previewing the Huntsville City Classic, and via the great thing that is social media. Scott broke this story a couple days ago, but a kid in our community is going big time. I mean, he's transferring to the Pac-12 and
Jamil Muhammad
going to play for Lincoln Sharman. And
did you tell him that when you talked to him?
I'm not going to tell him that.
Well, if he's listening, he's hearing it.
But but he's playing for Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans, man, playing for one of the best programs in the country, playing for a team that played for the Pac-12 championship and was in the college football playoff mix. You know, he's going to be playing with a reigning Heisman Trophy winner because Caleb Williams will be back in school next year for his junior year. So Jamil Muhammad, who, of course, played for our good friend Wade Waldrop and was an outstanding quarterback for the James Clemens Jets, man, he went on to Vanderbilt for a brief time and then transferred to Georgia State and became an outside linebacker and became an all-conference level guy on the Group of 5 level. And when he went into the transfer portal, he became a wanted man, and now he's going to finish his career out on the West Coast. So he's agreed. I believe he's still finishing up at Georgia State, but he's going to join us in the second hour and talk about his journey, which is pretty. I mean, it's really cool to see.
So speaking of football, and bowl games, by the way, start on Friday.
Yeah, they did. It's crazy. Including our good friend John Summerall.
Yep. He's in the He's in Orlando. John Summerall is in Orlando. The UAB Blazers are in the Bahama Bowl. So we'll have football for you on Friday. We got bowl games coming up. The last time an SEC team missed a bowl game, I found this interesting. Do you know the last time Alabama – I know you probably do. This is off the top of your head. You can probably do it in 2 seconds. The last time Alabama missed a bowl game.
Oh, yeah. That would be in 1997, Alabama in the first year of Mike DuBose, they finished I want to say – well, no, and then they missed one in that year. I think they finished 4-8, and then they finished 3-9 under Mike Shula in 2003. So I guess 97 and 2003 are the last two times they missed.
2003 is the last one. You're right. 2003 the last one for Alabama
that year. And remember, they were on probation anyway, but they went out to Hawaii and still lost because they were putrid.
Do you know who has the longest streak in the SEC? The last time they missed a bowl game.
The last time they missed a bowl game.
The longest one in the conference.
The longest one within the conference. The last time that they missed a bowl.
Yeah.
I'd say Georgia.
It is Georgia. Yes, indeed. 1996
right.
is the last time the Georgia Bulldogs have missed a bowl game. Others of note in the conference, Arkansas is 2020.
Mm-hmm. That was some of the worst football I've ever seen.
We already know that is the dubious Chad Morris era.
Mm-hmm. I would call it dubious.
Florida, 2017. Mm-hmm. That was, I guess, the
end of the experiment with Will Muschamp. Will must lose.
Kentucky, 2015. So Kentucky has a little bit of a streak going.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Stoops has got it going. He's been reaching bowl games. He's starting to win bowl games. I mean, that's the reason he's going into, he's been there a decade, and as Jeff has reminded us 50,000 times, that he's the winningest coach in Kentucky history. I mean, and because he's got the program to a point where when you go 7-5 like they're this year and going to the Music City Bowl to play Iowa, it's a disappointment. I mean, for them it was, considering that they have Will Levis, who's somehow going to be a first-round draft choice and get some front office fired.
Kentucky, LSU is 2020. Mississippi State. You want to take a guess on the last time the Bulldogs missed a bowl game? I did not know this one.
That's interesting. I would say, because Joe Moorhead made a couple.
Right.
Even though he got fired. Let me think here. It would probably be before Jackie Sherrill took over.
2009.
Oh no, okay, then that wouldn't be it. I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to go back in my annals here. Oh yeah, of course. That was when Sylvester Croom got dismissed.
Yeah.
At the end of the Croom era.
But the Bulldogs, that's a streak that I was like, okay, that was I did
well,
not.
Because Jackie
that
made
one.
several, but then I thought maybe at the very end of his tenure, it may have been where they missed. But yeah, I mean, Sylvester Croom was there 4 or 5 years, I think, and he beat Alabama and he got to some bowl games. But I guess probably because he beat Alabama in Saban's first year in 2007. That's the last time Mississippi State beat Alabama. It was probably at the end of that 2008 season when Alabama waxed them pretty good and started that streak, and then Sylvester got dismissed, and then they brought Dan Mullen in.
Ole Miss, despite all of the success Lane Kiffin has had, 2019, the last time the Rebels missed a bowl game.
That's when Matt Luke got fired and Lane was brought in. So, yeah, they at the end of that Luke era when they got the sanctions and Alabama waxed them like 62-7 or whatever it was. Yeah, they definitely missed postseason.
So South Carolina and Tennessee is 2020. That is the pre-Josh Heupel.
If you hear Tennessee fans, man, they hadn't missed the postseason in the last 50 years now. They're about to get a big commitment from a linebacker that they bought as Arion Carter. He's fixing to, but it's legal. I mean, Can we say that though about? Are we going to question everybody that gets that gets top 10 talent? Are we going to question everybody and say, is it? I mean, good or bad? They were bought, but with a collective. Pretty much all this, yeah. I mean, that's the way it is now. That's the way the NCAA and the federal government, with the morons we have running the country, have let everything go. So, until you actually regulate something and get off your ass and do your job, then yeah, pretty much.
So we have signing day coming up in what, 7 days?
Yeah.
Is it 1 week from today?
Yeah, December the 21st.
Yeah, so 1 week from today. We have signing day, so I mean that's going to be.
I mean, pretty much Alabama. Everybody, if you want to compete, you've got to pay up front. I disagree with it because I don't think kids should deserve money right out of high school. But that's just the way that because of the way they sat on their hands, they didn't really prepare for it. I honestly think a lot of the NC Double Dumb people never thought it would be approved and never thought it would actually go into practice. And then when it did, of course, they're never proactive, they're reactive. And then you have to eventually and then you got to get all these states on the same page because again, it's state to state kind of crap. And then like people have said, like they have a players union in the NFL, but you may end up having almost like a players union in collegiate sports eventually. I mean, that's just the path that they've laid because nobody had any vision to try to deal with it and come up with a system that would work.
All right, the last two programs, Vanderbilt and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
How about that though? That is interesting, not interesting, but it just kind of tells you how bad things have been in College Station. Vanderbilt and Texas A&M both have the same number by their program on missing a bowl game. 2022. Actually, It's Auburn, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Both will be missing bowls this year. All three missing bowls.
Yeah, they're going to.
So Texas A&M and Vanderbilt in the same boat.
The Derek Mason era, the last time Vanderbilt went to a bowl game.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things toward the end of not the very end, but toward the end of the Derek Mason era, they went to a bowl game. So
you could say Vanderbilt had if Texas A&M doesn't beat LSU to close the year, I mean, they feel like they have some momentum.
Right.
You could say Vanderbilt had a better year than Texas A&M.
And, hey, don't forget, I mean, the Pruitt era was a disaster for Tennessee, but, Vanderbilt was still beating them during the Pruitt era. So, they because in the last decade, now that's something Tennessee fans don't want to bring up, but, it was close to 50-50 there for a while. You were so bad.
Oh, I want to pull up something here Malik Langham, by the way, is in the transfer.
He's
portal.
another one that went
Speaking
into the
of-
transfer portal. He this will be his third stop. He spent his freshman year at Florida redshirting, and then transferred to Vanderbilt, and has played the rest of his career out there. But I believe he has 1 year of eligibility remaining. But he may have two though, because again, this 2020 thing and the COVID, sometimes it seems like some of these kids are getting 7 years, but he's in the transfer portal. I noticed the other day that he thanked the Vanderbilt coaches and everything, but he was going into the portal. It sounded like he has 1 year of eligibility remaining, and he's going to use it.
By the way, just in case you were wondering, Vanderbilt and Texas A&M had the exact same amount of SEC wins this year at 2.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, with LSU gagging and losing to Dirt Neck, that was the most unfortunate part of the last weekend, because if they had done their job and won the game, Dirt Neck was going to finish dead ass last in the SEC, even below Vanderbilt, with the highest payroll in the league. I mean, I know at least I think 20 guys have gotten into the portal for ATM, but I mean, I'm just like, wow, they would have finished. They finished tied,
yeah,
and they didn't really play Vanderbilt, so you can't say one was better than the other. But still,
Brent Drinkard on Facebook telling us this morning he's hearing Hugh Freeze is recruiting like
they got
a
Connor Lew
madman.
yesterday. Yeah, they flipped him from Miami. They've got Auburn's got a collective with, anywhere from $13 to $15 million. So they're definitely going to try to use it. They almost got Connor Lew during the season, and he went to the Ruiz Hurricanes. But the thing about Miami is there's going to be, like Auburn, other teams being aggressive, and they're going to. Now Miami did get Reuben Payne committed from Miami Central, the pass rusher. But of course, his uncle and his brother both played at Miami. I think his brother may be on the staff, so it's no surprise that Bain committed to the Canes. But Miami's also lost guys like Cormani McClain, the number 1 corner in the country. He ended up going to Florida a while back, and then they had Jalen Rashada flip on them to go to the Gators. So they've lost some guys, because even though Ruiz has been aggressive, and they've had then they're shelling out the cash for NIL. They stunk.
Yeah,
and they weren't just bad; they were almost as bad as Dirt Neck, and really worse, if you want to say. Yeah, I have to say they're worse, because hell, they lost to them. So I mean, and they played in the weak sauce ACC. So Cristobal, he's going to have a top 10 class, I would imagine. But they better turn it around quick. I know his contract's guaranteed, but my Lord, they were bad this year. I mean, they were really, really bad. And I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can get any traction. On the other side of the coin, like Mike Norvell and Florida State, pleasant surprise. I mean, they were very competitive. I believe they went 9-3 in the regular season. He's got a chance to have a 10-win year. And there wasn't a lot of expectations on Florida State. People were just hoping they get to a bowl game. But then Florida was okay, 7-5, but Miami, I mean, they were just horrible. Matter of fact, I mean, they weren't even competitive with Florida State. I mean, they just got smoked, like they quit. And so it's going to be interesting to see with this talent infusion how much better Miami can get.
5 days ago, Brian Ballum, I don't care about his name.
Yeah.
Actually, December 6th. I want to say they're up to 16 players.
Yeah.
In the transfer portal. On November, 5 days ago, they were at number 15. And then December 6th, yeah. So 5 days ago, they were up to number 15. So Miami's lost at least 15 players in the transfer portal this off season, I should say. Auburn also getting expected. They're saying this weekend that Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina, who's thrown for over 8,000 yards, is expected, some say, to visit Auburn this weekend.
I was hearing buzz that they may be the favorite, but I will say this. If Grayson McCall visits Auburn and commits, I got news for Robbie Ashford. Your days as the starting quarterback are done. They're not bringing Grayson McCall in to sit the bench. Period. End of story.
Well, Grayson McCall's not coming to Auburn to sit the bench.
He's got 1 year of eligibility left. His coach, Jamie Chadwell, left Coastal to go to Liberty. He decided, at least for now he could still visit Auburn, decide he doesn't want to go there and maybe
end
visit
up at Liberty.
And end up at Liberty. But, everybody's talked about Robbie Ashford, and being the freshman all-SEC quarterback, and he was. But the bottom line is, if they bring in somebody like that, they're bringing him in to start. Just like the original plan from Harsin and the Morons was to bring in Zach Cal Loser to come in there and win. Because, I have to say that. He played for Dirt Neck. So, they were going to bring in
never
Zach
played for Auburn.
No. Zach, they wanted to bring in Zach Calzada to start. And I think everybody, including in Atlanta, when we were in Atlanta, thought Calzada they thought he was going to be healthy after missing spring, and they thought he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Right.
And he ended up never playing it down for Auburn. So, again, we'll see. But I just think if they bring in a guy, the Grayson McCall, a guy of that caliber, one of the better starting quarterbacks in the transfer portal, that Auburn's planning on going in that direction, and they'd have to sell, Robbie Ashford on continuing to develop and being the backup for a year.
All right, there's a little college football news and notes to get you jump-started on a wet Wednesday. We got to get a break in. When we come back, and talk some high school basketball. Get you ready for the Huntsville City Classic. It's coming up faster than you think.
Yeah.
We'll kick it off next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. Trying to clear a couple of wrecks. 565 eastbound near Jordan Lane. That's mile marker 17. That one reported with an injury, but they canceled Hemsey. And 20 near Bibb Garrett. Not much to that one. It should move quickly. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Men, are you having performance issues in the bedroom? Is erectile dysfunction affecting your confidence and self-esteem? Is your relationship being impacted? If ED is a problem in your life, maybe it's time to make the last time you had bad sex the last time you'll have bad sex. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've successfully treated many men in the area for ED and given them back their confidence, their positivity, and in many cases, helped their relationships. Our expertise is second to none, and our practice is staffed by quality medical professionals. Beyond this, the treatments we use have proven success rates as high as 90%. And unlike online pharmacies that just sell pills or wave clinics that only offer one treatment option, we have a variety of treatment protocols, including acoustic wave therapy. We found that sometimes a combination of therapies works best, and a one-size-fits-all approach can't get you there. So make the call. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call 256-368-0333 or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other. I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to Talking Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Indeed, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you on a Wednesday morning. Don't forget, everyone, coming up tonight, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, it is the 97.7 ESPN, The Zone Christmas party for you, the listeners, over at Flow Indoor Trampoline Park. All you need to do is bring a toy, head it over to Flow, and you can enjoy the entire venue for free tonight. You can play miniature golf, hit on the trampolines. Bubby's Diner is going to have food there, thanks to our presenting sponsor, Talent Heating and Air, along with Rambo Marine of Huntsville or Hazel Green. Our goal is to fill the boat with toys tonight over at Flow Indoor. 4 o'clock to 8, get on out there. Enjoy the night. Coming up in about a week and a half, we get the another edition or installment of the Huntsville City Classic over at Huntsville High School.
Unbelievable 40th already, man.
Well, a lot of great talent has passed through this tournament. A lot of big-time talent has passed through this tournament. This year will be no exception. And 97.7 ESPN The Zone, we're going to be your home for the tournament. We will have the quarterfinals, semifinals, third-place game, championship game, all on our airwaves here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So if you want to get through and you want to be on the air, just win that first-round game.
Yeah,
just win game one.
Yeah, no question. And one of the proudest programs that we're blessed enough to have in our area, and, of course, we are the home for Madison Academy football. We've had also basketball on our airwaves for many years. It's different now because after 16 seasons, 11 Final Fours, 5 state titles for the great Andy Blackston, who's now at Brentwood Academy. He left the program after building it into one of the best in the state, and we have new leadership at the helm of the Mustangs. And he has a rich history of his own in North Alabama. He's a Florence native. He was at the University of Alabama as a graduate assistant there, and then has moved his way up in the college coaching ranks. He was spent the last 4 years with Tony Pujols at the University of North Alabama before taking over and filling the big shoes of Andy Blackston in his first season at the helm of the Madison Academy Mustangs. And that's Tom Berryman, and he's been good enough to join us and start our previews of the Huntsville City Classic this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach Berryman, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for joining us, and talk about deciding to take the helm of this program, a tradition-rich one, certainly. They've dominated 3A and 4A, had a lot of success in 5A, even 6A basketball because of these these rules that I don't necessarily agree with them all, the way the competitive balance. But Madison Academy has definitely competed on a lot of different levels and competed at the highest level. And matter of fact, they're 6A right now. But talk about how the Mustangs and you deciding to come to Huntsville and take this job and take on the task of continuing to grow Madison Academy basketball and keep them very competitive.
Well, guys, I had a lot of buddies in college, in the college coaching ranks. When I made the decision to get out, a lot of them said, "Hey, well, is this because of all the craziness we're dealing with the transfer portal and NIL?" I know you guys are very familiar with those things as much as you guys follow basketball. But man, it had nothing to do with getting out of college. It just happened to, it was about just getting into a great situation at Madison Academy. I mean, it's one of, if not the most storied programs in the state. I think outside of teams that might be 1 and 2A, I don't think anybody's won more state championships than Madison Academy has. We've won 7 in our history, and man, a lot of that is due to Coach Blackson. I mean, he is an absolute Hall of Famer, a legend, and so I knew coming in, it's big shoes to fill. But I couldn't try to be Andy Blackson, just trying to be the best version of myself and lead these guys the right way. And we've got a great group of guys that have worked really, really hard this off season. We've had some ups and downs to start the season. Had some good high moments. Won the Thanksgiving tournament down at Pelham High School, and had a few tough ones. Had a tough one last night over at Athens against a really good undefeated Athens team who's now 9-0. We dropped that one in overtime last night. The guys have just continued to fight, continued to battle, and so really proud of how much effort and competitiveness our guys have shown here over the start of the season. Going to have to clean a few things up execution-wise in order for us to win a few more ball games. Here every loss we've had has been 6 points or less on the season. Yeah. We've been in every game. We just got to figure out how to close out some of these closer games. Like last night, a tough overtime game. It's a one-possession game. It just didn't come out on top. So I got to give credit to Coach Anderson and Athens and those guys. They're very well coached and play really hard. But our guys are showing a lot of heart here early.
Coach, you mentioned fit. You mentioned it was a great spot landing at Madison Academy. What is fit? When coaches talk about that and it was a great place to be or a great fit, what is fit in your mind on trying to decide if it's the right place to be?
Well, I take basketball very seriously. And here, I think Madison Academy is a place that wants to be great. The program's been great for a long time. They're going to try to make sure that our guys and our coaching staff have what we need to be successful. Some other programs and coaches in other areas may not be as fortunate as we are to be in a place where the administration, the faculty, the board, all are kind of aligned and really know, how much athletics can do for the school to kind of help put the school on the map a little bit publicly, which will help with the admissions process, but also just, everybody is in alignment moving in the same direction. And so, I feel like this is a place where basketball is taken very seriously. We've won not only in basketball, but in many sports at the highest level. And so that's kind of the expectation here. Walking into it is that, this is a program that needs to be competing for state championships. And I have those same aspirations. You just look at our leadership though, on down from Casey Ferris, who's our school president, to Brian Privet, who's our high school principal, to Mark Mincher, who's our athletic director. We just have unbelievable leadership. And all those guys are former coaches in those positions. A lot of places you don't have the head of a school that was a former basketball coach. Brian Privet, who's our high school principal, used to be an assistant with the men's team here, and then took over the girls program and won several state championships as the head coach of the girls program. And so those guys are former coaches. I think they understand what basketball can do for a school. And I think that everybody's in alignment, to try to make sure that we're operating on all cylinders and we have everything we need to be successful here.
No doubt. And Mark Mincher's was for so many years at Sparkman and Huntsville High. It's such a fixture as an athletic director, a principal, and a baseball coach. Won a state championship in 2011 at Huntsville High, so he definitely understands athletics. So he's, I know, behind you guys 110%. But for the listeners, because, again, from year to year and every 2 years, the areas change, but the competitive balance rule also comes into effect. Talk about the classification you guys are competing in basketball-wise in the area right now.
Okay, well, we actually dropped back to 5A.
So it is 5? Okay, my bad. See, it's hard for me to keep up with because it's been back.
You're good. It's constantly changing. So we're at 5A this year.
Right.
We're in an area with East Limestone and Ardmore, a 3-team area.
Okay.
And then we would cross over potentially if we're fortunate to make it to the playoffs with Russellville, Brewer, West Point, and Lawrence County. I think is the area that we would cross over with. But we dropped back to 5A this year.
Gotcha.
But still have a very competitive schedule. We played a lot of the 6 and 7A teams in the area already. But we, there obviously are some challenges with the school of 250 kids playing 5A competition. But I knew that coming in, and I told our guys the first time, the very first time we met, right when I got hired, I said, "Hey, I hear a lot about this competitive balance deal and all this. It is what it is. Is it a challenge? Yeah, it's the last time we're ever going to talk about it, and we just have to be better. We have to figure it out. We have to continue to get better because it is what it is. Nothing's going to change on it. And so it's a challenge, but it's one that we're going to accept and we're going to overcome it. And so we're excited to play a lot of these bigger schools in the area. They make us better and get us ready for our area and hopefully for a playoff run. In February.
Yeah, Coach. Talk about who's kind of helping you on the court this year.
Right,
who's kind of leading the way for Madison Academy.
There you go.
Well, we're definitely led by Cody Bearlocker, who is a 6'6" guard. He actually just committed last week to go play at Swanee next year.
Congratulations.
An elite. He's a great kid, works really hard, and a really good student. And I think he probably could have waited it out and played and maybe gotten some more scholarship offers if he played the season out. But he actually missed all of summer ball with a hip injury last year, but just decided to go to Swanee. Found a great fit there. But he's a 6'6", really a wing. But our starting point guard broke his leg before the season started, and so about a week and a half before the season, Cody had to shift over from playing pretty much the entire game at small forward to then become a point guard. Just the way things worked for us, we had to move positions for him, and he's done a great job, really good job. He shoots the ball well from the three. He can finish around the rim. He can score in the mid-range, and he had 25 points in our game last night at Athens, and he's kind of been our most consistent guy, putting the ball in the hole. He's a good leader for us, works really hard, and so we kind of go as far as Cody Bearlocker is going to take it. We also, Jalen Blackwell is a sophomore 6'4" forward for us that's played really well at times. Our championship game down at Pelham High School in their Thanksgiving tournament, he had 22 points and 8 rebounds and really dominated the game around the rim. And then we've got, Lawson Pippins, who's a versatile kind of 6'4", inside-outside kind of combo forward type. A guy that can score around the rim, a guy that can shoot the three, and a guy that is a really high IQ player, really good passer. And so those three guys have really kind of been, I guess, our feature guys this year. They're our most prominent scorers for the most part. And we've got a lot of other guys that, that are kind of new to varsity basketball this year that are playing really hard and have helped us at times. But I would say those three guys are kind of the feature guys from a scoring standpoint for us.
And we're talking to Tom Berryman, first-year head basketball coach of the Madison Academy Mustangs, and it's been different. A lot of schools start in January, even though just in 7A, just recently Grissom played Sparkman early and beat them over at Sparkman in an area game. But you guys have already started area play. Is that correct?
That's correct. We played one area game. So we lost to East Limestone on a buzzer beater. We're up 2, and their point guard, who's a really good player, hit a step-back 3 at the buzzer and got us. So that was a tough one. Walking in, I didn't really, trying to figure out scheduling things coming from college. I didn't anticipate playing area games that early, but for whatever reason, that one was already on the schedule. And give Coach Moran credit over there. They did an unbelievable job. I thought he and his guys out-coached me. And I thought their guys outplayed us in that game. They made some really tough plays down the stretch. and made some really tough shots. So we'll obviously with area play, you play home and home, and so we'll have another chance at those guys later on down the road. But so we played one in the area so far.
Now, you've gone through a little bit of the schedule, and, you've got area play to go, and that's when it matters the most. But your early initial impressions of North Alabama basketball, have they matched to what you heard about when it came to North Alabama?
I think so. I think when I was fortunate enough to be at UNA for the last 4 years, recruiting-wise, getting out and seeing some of the players over in this area, I felt like I had a pretty good idea of the talent and the coaching in the area. I feel like there's not that many places in the Southeast that are real basketball focused. To me, I feel like this area, Huntsville, greater Huntsville area, is one of those. I think there's really good coaching over here. I think there's a lot of good talent, and every night in and night out, you're normally going to get you're going to have your work cut out for you playing some of these teams over here, and so we've I've definitely been impressed across the board from a coaching standpoint, from a talent standpoint. Just really excited to be over here. Coaching against some of these great coaches and playing against some of these great players.
And certainly, Tom, you've been, as you mentioned, you were recruiting for Tony Pujol and UNA, so you've been to the Huntsville City Classic. You're very familiar with the event. You'll be bringing your team this year to the 40th annual tournament over at Huntsville High, and you get a very difficult opening matchup. You guys are, I believe, playing at noon against Huntsville High, the host, so very tough first-round matchup for you.
For sure. I know Christian Schweers, their head coach, very well. Good family friend. I've known him a long time. He's done a great job over there building that program. They've got a lot of talent. They play really hard, and they're big. They're bigger than some college teams. I mean, they start a 6'7" guy at the small forward spot and 2 6'9" guys inside. And so we're a team that has decent size at the high school level, but they're probably the biggest and probably the most talented and deepest team around here. So we'll definitely have our work cut out for us with that matchup. The one thing I'll say about our guys is they're excited about the challenge. We're going to compete. We're going to get out there and get after it. We know that Huntsville is one of the most talented teams in the state at any classification. 1A through 7A, they are one of the most talented teams in the state. They're very well coached, and so it's going to be a big challenge for us. But we're excited about the opportunity to get out there and see what we can do against those guys.
And Coach, I know as you said, you've had so many 1-possession, 2-possession games where you didn't come out on top, but you did put it all together and win in Pelham. What's going to be the key for your team? I know you guys are back on the road this week to continue to get better, and then to make potentially make a run in the Huntsville City Classic, and then really the most, as Scott already mentioned, make a run in area play when it really matters after Christmas, because this is basically what the Huntsville City Classic does for you, is it kind of resets you and gets you ready for the second half of the season.
I've told our guys all year, I think we're going to go as far as our half-court man-to-man defense and our rebounding take us. One thing that was, when we ended up having to shift Cody Fairlocker over from small forward to point guard, that turned, now we have a 6'6" point guard. And so we've got a lot of size on our team. And so we're a team that we have a lot of length. We can cover a lot of ground defensively. And, we've got a chance to be a really good defensive team by the end of the year. We've had some really good stretches early on, man-to-man defense-wise. And then rebounding-wise, with that size, we need to be a team that dominates the glass, dominates. We need to be, plus 10, plus 12 in the rebound column pretty much every time we go out. And we've done that at times. Our last 2 games, we were a little less consistent from a rebounding standpoint, which was disappointing. Athens did a really good job rebounding the ball last night, and that probably made the difference in our overtime game against them last night. But just for our team, I feel like our half-court man-to-man defense and our rebounding is what's going to either help us make a deep playoff run, or if we don't do those things, we're probably going to not be playing as long as we want to.
Well, we certainly are looking forward to seeing the Mustangs back at the and at the Huntsville High School and the Huntsville City Classic. They've competed in it many times. They made the finals in one of the greatest games in 2005, nearly becoming the smallest school to ever win it at that point in time. I believe they were a 3A school. They went on to win the state championship that year under the great Danny Petty. But a lot of tradition, and we are really looking forward to watching your team compete, Coach. But we really appreciate you joining us and updating us on Mustang basketball. And for real quick, as we close it out, who you guys got for the coming up this week now?
Well, thank you guys for having me on. First of all, we're playing in the Pepsi Challenge later this week over at Decatur. So we'll have Gadsden City on Friday, and then we'll play Decatur Heritage on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a nice round-robin event there before the holidays.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Let's get that break in when we come back and wrap up Hour 1. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It looks like they have cleared everything accident-wise, so we should be back to a clean slate. We are dealing with wet streets, though, this morning, so you be careful. Try to get out the door early. You might need that extra time before the morning's over. 20/30 Fast Track can make your clothes fall off. Greg lost 92 pounds in 6 months on the plan. A free hormone quiz will tell you if it can work for you. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphrey's Bar and Grill. Humphrey's is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphrey's Bar and Grill.
Who knows comfort? Well, comfort is our middle name. If your home isn't as comfortable as you want it to be, we can fix that. We service all makes and brands of heating and cooling systems, even if we didn't install them. So give us a call. Environmental Comfort Systems. Visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
No need to get your tinsel in a tangle. The Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is coming up January 13th through the 15th. With over 200 units in stock ready to be delivered, Rambo Marine will personally gift wrap it for you. Seal the deal today and you'll enjoy the No-Show More Dough Rambo Marine Special, a $3,000 additional discount. Mark your calendars for January 13th through the 15th to join us at the Alabama Boat Sale at Rambo Marine in Hazel Green. Ho, ho, ho! Santa approved.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And another name in the transfer portal to keep an eye on, Marshawn Lloyd from South Carolina. Over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns in 2 seasons at South Carolina. He's in the portal. Keep an eye on him.
The portal? I mean,
I know. We're just mentioning. Every day there's a new name, but
every day there's a new name. Every day, everybody always thinks the grass is greener on the other side because they got the competitive streak of Pepe Le Pew.
Alabama gets 24, I should say, from Brandon Miller last night. 21 of those in the second half. Alabama goes on to get the best of Memphis in a close one. A close one last night, 91-88, tied 9-1. Program's best start since 06-07. Brandon Miller, team leading 20 or more points this year with his team. Fourth game of 20 or more points.
It wasn't
for Brandon
easy
Miller
last night. I mean, it was it wasn't one of Alabama's better defensive games, but at the same time, right before the game, and Alabama released this information, and we tweeted it out, but Namari Burnett, who is their best perimeter defender and averaged about 8 points, pretty good three-point shooter, he injured himself during the Houston game, and they didn't know the severity until afterward. He went to see, Dr. Andrews and all that, but he had to have wrist surgery, and he will be out 6 to 8 weeks. And so they didn't have him, and so that's why they started Jaden Bradley last night. And that's a big loss because he brought a lot of intangible things, and he's the one we talked about already.
Right.
He guarded Sasser and harassed him into like a 2 for 11 for Houston. And so Alabama, but they proved they could win a high-scoring game. Penny Hardaway's team fought. And I mean, I'm talking about they took a timeout with, 0.6 seconds down 3. So, because, I mean, if you force a turnover, say a 5-second call or whatever, you could potentially get a shot to tie it. So they took it. I mean, they extended this game. This was over a 2.5-hour game. And it was a tough game. And it was 36-33 Alabama at halftime. And it was a high-scoring second half. I thought the game would be played, high 60s, maybe mid 70s.
Yeah, Memphis was averaging around 70 points coming into this one.
No doubt. And so, but they put on a show, and the reigning AAC Player of the Year, Kendrick Davis, he was unbelievable last night. Here was the crazy stat, though. Memphis was, 0 for 11 from 3 until they made one with like the 0.6 seconds. They didn't make a 3 all night long, and yet they stayed in the game. Davis ended up with 30 points. He was unreal, and 5 assists. I mean, before he got banged up, near the end of the game. But you got to give Brandon Miller a lot of credit. You mentioned it already. He had a huge second half, and he ended up with 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And you also had Sears ended up with 18. He had another nice game. Jaden Bradley starting for Namari Burnett ends up playing 22 minutes, getting 10 himself, 11 for Noah Clowney, and another hard hat award because even though he fouled out late in the game, he also had 9 rebounds and did a nice job defensively. So, and then a guy that hasn't played a lot, Darius Miles, he's been injured too, but he kind of fell out of the rotation because of the growth of some others. He hit a couple of big free throws late. He gave him 13 minutes and 7 points, and Noah Gurley giving them 7 points as well. So, and Javon Quinterly. So it was a balanced attack for Alabama, and they proved they could win a different style game because we've all said it already. The Houston game was a street fight. It was a freaking fist fight all the way to the end. And Memphis, who will be an NCAA tournament team again, in my opinion, they're very experienced. It ended up being kind of a track meet the second half. Alabama able to win it, and now they got the last piece of the gauntlet to try to jump over, and that is the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and that will be at a sold out Legacy Arena coming up on Saturday at noon. It'll be a little bit kind of an early tip there, Scott. Is that will be another national TV opportunity?
Yeah, it's on
CBS, I believe so. So we will. I think I'm still having to wrap my head around this. Jim Nantz will not be doing it.
I need to look and see. No, he may be doing it. I don't think he's doing the Final Four.
He's just not doing the Final Four.
Right.
Okay.
I'll pull it.
I'll
let you know.
Because that'll be so weird. I'm hoping it's Bill Raftery and Grant Hill and Jim Nantz. That'd be the A crew there.
Right. Well, speaking of A crew, come meet all of our A crew tonight at
that's
Flow Indoor
segue.
Trampoline Park from 4 to 8.
And try to fill a boat with toys, not water.
Well, we could probably take the boat to Flow.
Hey, could somebody bring a yellow submarine, though? That would be really cool. You know that old song, The Yellow
By
Submarine?
The Beatles.
Yeah. Because that's what we need right now.
The season is here. It's Woody Anderson Ford's 2022 year-end sales event, and we've got the best selection we've had in a long time. Nearly 400 vehicles to choose from and over 130 F-150s. We bet you'll find exactly what you're looking for. And while interest rates continue to climb, at Woody Anderson Ford today, you can lock in 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on a wide selection of our new Fords. As low as 2.9% for 72 months on 22 models of F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Escape, and Edge. Plus, get an additional $1,500 in bonus cash on 22 Edges. Offer ends December 31st. Or if a nearly new Ford fits you better, you can trade in and trade up on a Ford Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or crossover. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take them home with a full tank of gas and fresh oil change. Come on in for our 2022 year-end sales event. Woody Anderson Ford. Jordan and Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like they've cleared everything accident-wise. We did have 172 eastbound at Nance. I don't have an update on it, but it should be cleared out of the way pretty quick. The $6 big box is back at Popeyes with 2 pieces of the hand-battered Louisiana seasoned chicken, 2 sides, and a buttermilk biscuit. Popeyes University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're talking about rain and embedded thunderstorms through the entire afternoon and even as we head into the evening. Temperatures climbing into the lower 60s this afternoon. None of the thunderstorm activity is going to be severe. It's just going to turn the heavy rain into torrential rain. Rain comes to an end as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon actually looks quite nice across the Tennessee Valley. A mostly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Bowl season underway Friday with the Bahamas Bowl kicking things off. Miami of Ohio, an 11-point underdog against UAB. That'll be followed by Texas San Antonio playing as a 2-point underdog against Troy in the Cure Bowl. College football playoff on New Year's Eve. Number 2 Michigan minus 7.5 against third-ranked TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. And fourth-ranked Ohio State plus 6.5 against top-ranked Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Argentina has reached the World Cup final. They await the winner of France and Morocco this afternoon. The French, the minus 190 moneyline favorite. Morocco plus 600 with a draw at plus 280. The over-under at 2.5 goals. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Happy Wednesday morning again. I want to remind everyone, head to Flow Indoor Trampoline Park tonight from 4 to 8 for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone Christmas party. For you, the listeners, all you need to do is bring a toy, and that'll get you into Flow Indoor Trampoline Park. Take a part of our miniature golf competition. We've got prizes available for that. We've got other stuff. So bring the kids, bring the family. Bubby's Diner is going to be on hand. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Talent Heating and Air. Our goal is to fill the boat from Rambo Marine of Hazel Green with Toys for Tots for Huntsville. So get on out here on tonight from 4 to 8 over at Flow Indoor Trampoline Park. Let's continue. Let's get us ready again for the Huntsville City Classic, which is coming up. 97.7 ESPN The Zone is your home for that. Again, quarterfinals, semifinals, third place game, championship game. All going to be over our airways here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Yeah, and we have another first-year head coach. He's doing a really good job at one of the most talented programs in the state of Alabama and in North Alabama especially as well. They have a rich history of their own. I remember in my younger days when Bob Harp won a state championship there in the 90s. Rod Bass was the state tournament most valuable player. They've always had talent. Jake Miles did a great job there recently. They won the N2 Hoops Invitational. They've made runs in the Huntsville City Classic. They've had very, very good teams. And this next gentleman is an alum of the school and was hired by our good friend Jake Miles and has worked his way up through the ranks and is now taken over for Major Deacon in his first season at the helm of the Black Bears, and that's Desmond Phillips, and he's with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are y'all?
We're doing well. And Coach Jake Miles was telling me about you last night, said he hired you and got you back into the program. And he's really excited for your opportunity. And I know you guys I thought had a tough matchup with them earlier with the Hartselle Tigers. But, you seem to be getting this program back steadied on. And, again, they had a lot of success last year. This is not really a program that needed to be completely reset. Just continuing to improve and climb. But congratulations on taking over at your alma mater, and I know it's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's come full circle from being able to play here and compete here, and now come back and invest in my community and invest in these guys.
Well, Coach, talk about the season so far. What has been some of the biggest challenges?
The biggest challenges so far, I would say, is our schedule.
Tough, yeah.
We've played some tough teams early on, but we've competed very well. We probably only had one guy who played valuable varsity minutes, so everybody else is just learning on the fly, and they're doing a good job.
And, Coach, talk about with our listeners because Coach Tom Berryman just came on from Madison Academy, and they were in 6A a year ago with Athens and some others, but now they've moved down to 5. They were with Ardmore, certainly, and East Limestone in a 3-team area. For Austin, we know you guys are in 7A, but talk about your area this year, and has it changed at all? Who's in your area this season?
It's the same area as us, James Clemens, Bob Jones, and Florence.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's a really tough area.
Mm-hmm.
You got James Clemens who went to the state championship last year in 7A. So it kind of shows you how tough the area is.
No doubt. They were one bucket away from winning it. I was there when they played Enterprise. Frankie Sullivan and those guys, man, what a run they made. Nearly winning a state championship in the 7A classification, already beating Grissom this year. Have you guys started area play, Coach, or do you start it after Christmas?
We'll start it after Christmas.
Okay, because,
Yeah, Coach, talk about the area. It's not – it's a gauntlet in itself.
Oh, yes. James Clemens, of course, we talked about they're very tough. They're depth. It allows them to stay in you the whole game and pressure you. You got Bob Jones, who is always tough, who always finds a way to win ball games. Luther does a great job over there. And then Florence, who's always super athletic. And they usually have some kids that there are some leapers, some defenders. So our area is never a night off. But you have to be ready to compete every night.
That is so true, no question about that. And Coach, I know you guys haven't started area play. How many games in are you? What's the record thus far? Even though I know, again, what matters is getting better, going into area play, winning the area tournament, and making a run in the postseason. Because James Clemens proved that last year. They got hot at the right time. How's the season gone so far?
Right now we're 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
We've beaten a tough Hewitt Trustable team, a Hartsel, a good Ramsey team. Some tough losses to Buckhorn and Grissom.
Yeah, some close losses. Yeah, I know we had that Buckhorn game on here on our airwaves.
Yeah, we're a couple of possessions away from those games being wins. So very, very proud of how my guys are competing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coach, talk about your guys. Who's kind of helping you on that court this year?
Cameron Collins. He's a senior. He's been playing varsity since he was a sophomore. So he's been kind of the leader. But the newcomer I have is Jordan Johnson. And over the last 4 games, he's averaging about 19 a game.
Wow.
So he's really competing. He's actually the brother of Javen Johnson.
Oh, yes.
At DePaul.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where Javen is now? I knew that he had gone to Iowa State, so he's now at DePaul. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was recently the National Player of the Week, so he's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. And he and Jake Miles, boy, they had a great team there. He was on that Into Hoops championship team, and a team that went to the Final Four. I thought they would win the state championship. They weren't able to quite do that, but certainly part of the rich history of Austin basketball. For you, Coach, I know you grew up around in this community, so you've played in the Huntsville City Classic many times. It's the 40th annual event, and your team is actually going to get this event underway at 9 a.m. You're going to play the defending 4A state champion Jacksonville Eagles, so a big challenge for your squad coming up on December the 27th.
Yes, being in the Huntsville Times, playing in the Huntsville Times, I know the excitement it brings.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to get my kids to understand how great of an opportunity it is, because we've kind of missed the Huntsville Times the last couple of years, and so a lot of them don't know how it is, how the environment will be. So I'm telling them it's a great opportunity, and us playing at 9 a.m. kind of prepares us. You know, if we advance in region, it's usually a morning game. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to get up in the morning and play.
No question. And for those that maybe haven't seen your team, of course you grew up and played, put the uniform on. You have been a coach on the junior high level and on up to through varsity assistant before taking this over. What kind of is the identity of a Desmond Phillips team?
We hang our hat on the defensive end. So far, we've held teams to their lowest. We've held star players to their season lowest. And so it's all we over me. And with that mindset on defense, somebody gets beat, it should be somebody else there helping your brother. And so defense and unselfishness is what the type of team I have.
Mm-hmm. No question about it. And what are you looking for your team to do, like as far as growth before area play going into this Huntsville City Classic? I mean, first, I guess, who have you got? What have you got left on the schedule before you guys get ready for the HCC? And what kind of growth are you hoping to have?
We got a tough one. We got Vestavia Friday.
Yeah, tough style of play.
We got Central Phoenix Saturday. We got Grissom Tuesday.
Whew.
So it's a brutal schedule before we get to the Huntsville Times. I'm really looking for some other guys to kind of step up and take some of the load off that are very capable. I got some sophomores that are growing up, and so all these tough games are kind of preparing them for what's ahead.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, and we're looking forward to it. And I know your players are, because this is the 40th annual event. And it's brought to you by TOC and all our great sponsors that are going to have. And, of course, we're going to have the quarterfinals, semifinals, championship game, and third place game on our airwaves here at ESPN 97.7 The Zone. We're always honored for that. It's a great environment, and I know your kids are looking forward to it. And certainly they're going to be battle-tested, Coach. When you're kind of going through a mini tournament there when you're playing Vestavia, Central Phoenix City, and Grissom within like a 4-day period.
Right. You got Vestavia and Grissom that are top 10 teams in 7A. Mm-hmm. And so it's good for our guys to see that now, and then if we see them down the road, it won't be a surprise. So I was big on having a tough schedule, so it was no surprises when we start getting in the area and we start rolling.
Yeah, and it's going to be really, and then that'll be in January after the Huntsville City Classic. But we look forward to seeing your team compete. And as we said, going to be the tip-off of the event, 9 a.m., the Austin Black Bears under Desmond Phillips. They're going to take on the Jacksonville Eagles, the defending 4A state champions, as they had a great squad last year. But they came to the Huntsville City Classic and actually, they ended up in the losers bracket after day one. That's how tough a field it is, no doubt about it. And it's great to have the Austin Black Bears back in this event and being a part of it, and they have been for many, many years and many times, and they're back in it this season. Well, Coach, we really appreciate the time for you updating us on Austin Black Bear basketball. Good luck to you in this 3-game stretch coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then to next week. And again, have a great holiday and Merry Christmas. But we look forward to seeing your team compete. And thank you for joining us for a few quick minutes this morning.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Good stuff there. Talking a little Huntsville City Classic basketball. It's coming up faster.
Yeah.
It's coming up faster than we think. 256-576-4977. If you want to get in on the show, you do have a little bit of time to do so right now. Coming up here in a little bit, Jamil Muhammad will join the program as we talk a little football.
Yeah, we've been talking transfer portal, and
my goodness.
He was a dude that was a highly sought-after guy, man. We're talking about, an all-conference player at Georgia State University, outside linebacker before that, a decorated career on the prep level for Wade Waldrop at James Clemens High School as a quarterback, made the transition to defense after the cup of coffee at Vanderbilt. He ends up at Georgia State, develops into an impact defensive player on that level, and then he puts his name in the transfer portal for about 5 or 6 days, and it sounded like it was some craziness, insanity going on, a lot of offers, and I'm just anxious to kind of talk to him about that, Scott, and that experience, because that's something, we've never really talked about on the show, talking to someone that directly went into the portal and gets these, pitches from these schools and ends up, for example, Desmond Phillips just brought it up. I didn't realize Javen Johnson, where he was now. He's at DePaul, and he's playing well.
If you blink,
national player. He's at his third school.
Yeah.
I believe he was at Troy, then he went to Iowa State, and now he's at DePaul. So, and he was always a great player. So, just really proud for him that he's playing at the, I guess DePaul's not a group. A Power 5 is considered a group of 5, but still, it's a basketball school. They've been to Final Fours. They've actually got a really rich history. But I'm glad that Coach Phillips was able to tell us where Javen is, and I know he was one of Jake Miles' favorite guys, and I love Coach Miles, and just proud for Javen Johnson to be representing our community.
Speaking of forgetting where they were at,
right
on Saturday. Had a little time to watch the FCS, semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
And Samford
was
in
it was actually the quarterfinals.
The quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I did not realize Quincy Crittenden was the quarterback for He had come in because the one had gotten hurt.
From Boston,
yeah. And so Quincy came in and was playing quarterback there at Samford. I had totally forgotten
it was probably the best year in Samford history.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah. And they had their hands full. They had to take on North Dakota State.
Yeah, to go
on
to
the road.
Yeah,
on the road in Fargo.
That's tough. It's about as tough as a road trip as you can go on.
Yeah, that's.
I think didn't you go there in Division II?
I went to
for
North Dakota.
No, it's North Dakota.
We went to North Dakota. At the time they were the Fighting Sioux.
Okay.
Now they had to change their name. Not forget what they are now. Yeah. But North Dakota State.
By the way, your boy Caliendo does a hell of an impersonation of that dip. No, I can't really say what I want to say.
Dipstick.
No, well, I could call him a dipstick. That's from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yep.
Yeah. Or a meta muffin.
Where was that one from?
That's the Dukes of Hazzard too.
Okay.
That's Roscoe Coltrane.
Let's.
He called Enos a dipstick.
You have not eaten your cupcake.
No, I haven't. I haven't tried it yet because I don't know if it may knock me out. I don't know yet. We'll see. And I haven't. Trust me, Bailey has already gone where I haven't gone. I haven't cut a piece of my pie yet. It's at home.
The Reese's peanut butter, the half pound. Mine is sitting on the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's yours at?
It's on the kitchen counter.
Are you gonna
I'm offering it to my family.
Oh, I thought you might put it in a blender and make a pie or something since you're the cook of this place.
You know what I could? You know what would be good though? Put it in a little mixer and then include it in some chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was thinking Scott could do, and then you could bring all those cookies over here. Like you did these. See, I'm already angling here.
You want some chocolate chip?
Yeah.
I can. You know what though? I could take that and put some chocolate chips and mix that in with my chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
And it would be a chocolate chip Reese's peanut butter cookie.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Pat from Tuscaloosa with us this morning. Good morning, Pat.
What's up, Pat?
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Man, what are you thinking about? Are we going to get another offensive tackle with this depletion of our offensive line?
Well, they're trying to flip Caden Proctor. We'll see, and they're trying to flip a tight end or two, including Lawson Lucky. I was trying to get some intel yesterday, and there seems to be some confidence from guys like Andrew Bone, who have done it for 19 years, that Alabama may get some flips on the offensive side of the ball. And if that were to happen, I would think that would include tight end and offensive line. I think when you're looking at it, they already have 2 quarterbacks committed. They've already got 4 wide receivers. They've already got 5 offensive linemen, but there is no secret that they'd like to get another tackle if it could be a certain player. So you're just kind of connecting the dots. But and then they have 2 great running backs, so they seem to have most of the bases covered. But when they talk about flips on offense, I would think it would entail, Pat, either the offensive line or the tight end position.
Gotcha. Hey, man, are you hearing anything else? I'm hearing a little bit of chatter about Dabo's 5-star defensive lineman from Alabama. What are you hearing anything at all that may indicate that things may not be solid with Dabo?
No, I haven't heard that. I think Peter Woods is probably going to sign with Clemson unless something happens this weekend out of the blue where he visits Alabama. And if he doesn't, it's one of the most colossal, pathetic, botches in recruiting history in this state for both Alabama and Auburn to miss on Peter Woods. And, of course, Alabama, his family graduated from there. Certainly it's a great opportunity for him at Clemson, not taking anything away from them. It's a total credit to Dabo and his staff. But I think it speaks to, Freddie Roach not being able to close and not being able to, dot the I's and cross the T's. No, but we'll see. I mean, he hasn't signed anything, certainly, but I haven't heard anything that's indicated that it may be on shaky ground. It seems as though Peter Woods is very satisfied with his commitment, and his family is. So congratulations to that family, not taking any shots at them at all. Certainly their son and as a family, they have to make that decision and where he wants to go. And Clemson's been a great program. They've turned out defensive linemen. They've made the playoff. They've won national championships. So certainly he'd be going to a quality program. But from an Alabama perspective, it'd be a big miss, no question about it. And we'll just have to see what happens.
All right, Pat, hate to cut you off, Bud, but
one more second. Go ahead, Pat.
He had a fantastic all-star game.
Right.
And is Coach Saban got a moving truck going to Austin yet to get Bo Davis?
I hope so. I think they need to make some changes on that defensive staff. There's no doubt about it. But, Pat, we appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, got to get a break in, Pat.
Yep.
So let's get a break in because Jamil Muhammad is holding for us. We want to get a break in, get him on the lines. What is really going on in the transfer portal? How big is the room? Is it like going into a phone booth? Do you all sit together? Do all 1,200 people just sit together in the transfer portal and wait to come out of it? We'll find out coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Had a wreck on top of Useless northbound. That one came in as a no injury, but they were sending HPD for traffic control there, so maybe still some blockage to deal with. At 72 in Nance, it should be out of the way. Winchester and Moores Mill should be moved, and 431 in Doug Hill, I think, did turn out to be an old accident. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
you want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We have talked a lot about on this show. We just throw names in there going into the transfer portal, just kind of keep you updated on who's going in. But lots of times we don't always get to tell you who's coming out. Yeah. We don't get to tell you what it's really like because we don't get to go into the transfer portal.
Well, we didn't get a chance to talk to Javen Johnson before he went to Iowa State and then DePaul.
Yeah, we don't get to because we don't even know how it really works.
Right.
We just sit here and we say, guess what? So-and-so is in the portal. He's coming out of the portal. But when it involves somebody that we've covered in high school, when it involves someone that we've followed along the way, we kind of pay a little bit more attention to it. And because we want to know where they go. We want to know what they end up. We want to know what's it like. And today we can actually combine, we can put that all in one big pot, stir it up, and serve it because we get to figure out exactly what it's all about.
Yeah, we get a chance to talk to a former James Clemens Jet, who was one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. When he signed with the Vanderbilt Commodores, he matriculated to Georgia State University, where he transitioned from offense to defense in the middle of 2020. And then for the last 2 years has been an all-Sun Belt Conference outside linebacker, including in 2021 6 sacks, which is second most in Georgia State history, and had another very strong year this year for the Panthers and went into the transfer portal and is now committed to Lincoln Riley's USC Trojans, and that's Jamil Muhammad, and he has been good enough to call back into his home, his homestead here in North Alabama and in Madison County on 97.7 The Zone's Talking Ball to talk about his journey and his next step in his great career so far. Jamil, it's Drew DeArmond and Scott Tyson. How are you this morning?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. I'm glad to be on the phone with you guys and glad to tell you guys a little bit about the process. So I'm doing awesome.
Man,
it is
just looking at your Twitter account, it's just crazy. Scott's the one that alerted me. He's like, hey, man, Jamil Muhammad just committed to Southern Cal. And I was like, wow, I knew he was doing good at Georgia State. I didn't even know he was in the portal.
Yeah, so okay, this is going to be fun. Take us through your process, though, first of you had a great year at Georgia State. Take us through that process there of hey, you performed well, but what ultimately led to going into the portal?
Well, it was a multitude of things. I believe, the main thing was just, I was looking for something that allowed me the appropriate, I guess you can say, NFL development, NFL readiness, to just, set me up for more success heading into the future. I spent, a while at Georgia State. I learned a lot of things from Coach Elliott and the rest of his staff. And, I enjoyed them. I did. Don't get me wrong. However, it was just time for me to make a change. I went through a lot throughout my football career, and I believe it was just time for me to take that next step of growth and just, get more and more ready for the NFL, which is ultimately my main goal.
And then, of course, we know throughout your career you were a quarterback for Wade Waldrop, but you made the transition to defense after redshirting in 2019 at Georgia State when you transferred there. In 2020, you started making that transition, and after the last 2 full seasons, you've been an outside linebacker. How long has it taken you to get comfortable defensively, and what was the biggest keys for you to continue to improve? And then again, when we saw when you went into the portal, and we'll talk about that in just a second, you certainly had a lot of high interest from Power 5 schools, but how is that defensive development? How did that kind of take place?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the development process of the position was still, it's still tough. But it's a little easier now, being that I study the game a lot and I know the game from a different perspective, being that I play quarterback.
That's right.
Absolutely. So I believe that's what, that's one thing that stands out to coaches that was watching my film, including USC. That's something that they pointed out was my IQ just popped on film, being that I played quarterback. So I think that made the transition a little easier. However, the mental makeup was very tough. I think that's very underestimated from people on the outside looking in, being that I played one of the softest positions on the offensive side to playing the most, aggressive positions on the defensive side. So I think that's probably an uncanny move for anybody to make. And I think that's what popped out to all of these scouts. That's why, a lot of Power 5s were interested. And I think that was just showing all my hard work,
Jamil Muhammad joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. All right. So I've always wanted to know this. So take us into the portal. I mean, do you wait when you wake up and you decide you want to go into the portal? How does this work? Do you go to the coach and do you say, I'm going into the portal? Do you go in a different door? How does this all work when you decide that you wanted to go into the portal?
Yeah, so I don't know how it goes at some schools, but I know, where we are. So first of all, you have to make your mind up. You have to decide who makes that decision with you, which for me, it was my parents. So me and my mom, we sat and we prayed on it for, I believe, a week.
Wow.
And throughout the process, I felt led to go ahead and tell my coach that I was jumping in the transfer portal. First, I talked to my position coach, Coach Fuke. I introduced the idea to him, and then I walked over to Coach Elliott's office, talked to him for about 30 minutes. Then when I got done with him, I talked to Coach Fuqua again. Once I got done with Coach Fuqua, my position coach, then you have to get a roster release form signed. When you sign the roster release form, that gives them the permission to release you from the roster. And then after that, you have to go get an NCAA transfer portal clearance form. And what that is you have to sign it, you have to get the head coach to sign it, and then you have to get the athletic director to sign it.
Wow.
What that shows is, just like you, all the other, I guess you can say, big dogs in the program agree that you are leaving, and they agree with you leaving. So with that, then I have to then take that form back to the compliance director. Once he gets it and once he sees that all the signatures are correct and valid, then he can enter my name into the NCAA transfer portal. And then that's probably, I guess you could say, from that point, then 24 hours later, that's when your phone starts getting more and more hectic.
So did your phone then go crazy within that 24
blown
hours?
up when you tweeted it out?
Yeah, my phone. So this is what happened. When I did mine, I had a senior luncheon the same day. So I gave my papers to him. He entered it in there, and you have some coaches who they have, like, I guess you could say, they have to have some type of alert that says that you're in the portal. Obviously, when you get in, the NCAA, it notifies. They say it notifies all universities, but some universities have to have some type of device because from the moment I gave him that paper, from about 2 hours later, I heard from at least 8 coaches.
Wow.
So were they all hitting you up like just via DM? Is that how it was working?
Well, most of all, this is how it works. So you're about to most likely get an offer from someone when you get a follow from the director of player personnel,
there you go,
director of recruiting, and then a position coach. So if all three of those follow you, then most likely you're going to be getting a phone call. And then one of those, they text you and say, hey, can we get a number to call you? And I think, it was at least, and then on top of that, it gets more and more hectic when you're a graduate transfer, you're in my position, you're looking to sign somewhere within 2.5 weeks, and now you have 8 visits lined up in 2 weeks. So yeah, it gets pretty hectic.
So I imagine for you and your family, when you did this, it is a leap of faith. And you mentioned that you had to pray with your family for about a week. This is a leap of faith because, you're hoping that your hard work that you put in and everything that you put in is good enough for others to take notice. When you started getting all those phone calls, when you started getting those messages, did you just kind of feel a sense of relief that, okay, maybe now I know I made the right choice?
First of all, it's always jumping in the transfer portal is always a leap of faith. I think when you're doing something that goes against the natural belief of people who are stuck in a comfort zone, I think that's always going to be, I guess you can say, a leap of faith in their eyes. In my eyes, from what I was at least telling my mom and my dad, I'm like, listen, I've done what I had to do. I put in the hard work. I became a leader. I've switched positions. That's not easy to do. Like, coaches that are worth any grain of their salt can understand looking at my film and understand, listen, switching from quarterback to outside linebacker is not the easiest move in the planet. I could see if it was fullback, or tight end to linebacker. It's quarterback. I went from not using my hands at all to using them every play. So it's just I feel like that's what made it less of a risk. Now, what made it even more of a risk was the day I jumped in, it was 2,000 people in the portal. That's not even counting, and that's not even counting everybody. I think that was just counting FBS. So
that's true.
You can only imagine people that was from D2 and JUCO, who college coaches like also, because you got to think they like experience. That's why I feel for high school athletes, because unless you're really at the high part of the totem pole, you may get dropped. And same thing with transfer portal. Some people were in it for the wrong reason, some were in it for the right. And that's why some people unfortunately haven't found a home yet, and some people may not find a home because it's too many. Like not everybody can get a home. So I think it's always a risk anything you do when it comes to growing and growing yourself, I guess.
Well, and Jamil, we know you were, of course, on the Dean's list and all Sun Belt Conference academic honor roll, and you said you're a graduate transfer. I know the COVID year you played and you guys had a brief season. Do you have 2 years of eligibility or one left?
I have 2 years. So
that's what I thought.
Absolutely. So the first year I stood out, then the second year, that in the middle of that year, that's when they decided that the move was best, and then we mutually decided that it would be defense. So I think I finished that year out on special teams. Mm-hmm. Didn't really practice no defense, and then that next year, obviously you said that year was COVID, so that year didn't count. So it was like almost another redshirt year. Mm-hmm. So the next year, I guess I'm almost a redshirt freshman at this point.
Yeah.
And it's my first year on defense. I'm behind a senior, catching my win, and then towards the last stretch of the season, I just start catching all type of comfort zones. Whether it was schemes or hands or just the feel of the game, and then everything just started coming even more naturally. So then heading into this past season, this was my first start, and I think that's what stand out to coaches. Like even Coach Riley was very impressed to know that this past year was my first start. And then the year before that was my first year on defense. So it's crazy to think about when you look at it from the film side of things.
Yeah, talk about your interaction with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and
what was
their
that
program.
like?
Yeah. Did you go on a visit there?
Yes, I just left my official visit this past weekend, man.
Gotcha.
He is probably the most chill and business-like coach I've ever met. I think sitting with him is almost as good, if not better, than sitting with a Nick Saban.
Oh wow.
He's done what he's had to do to be able to have his name sitting at a table like that. So I mean, think about it. He's the only coach with 3 different Heisman winners with 2 different schools. So I think that his coaching and his history speaks for itself. And then speaking of that, he has Caleb Williams coming back next year, so I believe that'll take USC's program or USC's team to a different level. And it's my job to trust in them, which I do wholeheartedly, and just come in and be a defensive anchor to be able to help that offense out. And I'm telling you, man, that happens. You'll see USC Trojans in the national championship for sure.
Yeah, and then talk about your interaction with Alex Grinch, because I know he came with him from Oklahoma, and he had and actually the late great Mike Leach that we paid tribute to last year. Alex Grinch was the defensive coordinator for him at Washington State. So how has your interaction been with Coach Grinch?
Man, Coach Grinch, along with Coach Manning as well, my position coach. They're both great guys. They know the game of football, but they don't make it complicated. And that's what I look for. I look for that, and I also look for a coach that believes in me. And I really feel as if they are. They have my best interests at heart. They care about me as a player. They care about me as a man. And I think, you can't fake that. You definitely can't fake that. You can see it through how they talk, how they communicate, what their expectations are of me. It isn't anything fake or phony. It's just real. People don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. So, and I think that pops out from Coach Grinch. Coach Grinch has been, a lot of places. He coached a lot of great players. Mostly, I think he has like a high percentage of players on his defense is getting drafted. So that's what it's all about. It's all about developing players and getting to that next level.
Well, obviously, you're now headed out to the West Coast. Do you ever miss the days of playing quarterback?
No, not really. I think, initially I did, but now it's such a satisfaction just hitting quarterbacks. I think, I think taking my frustration out from the process of me having to switch, I think that's what drives me so much in being great on defense or being even better than great. That's why I work as hard as I do, because I feel like I was doubted too much at quarterback. So my goal is to not be doubted at all at linebacker. So
Well, and Jamil, I got to say this too. We mentioned him before you came on, but he's a great friend of the show. He's gone on he's doing great things now at Hoover, but he did great things for you at the JC. He developed so many guys that are in the NFL now that have gone on and had success in college. Talk about playing for Wade Waldrop and how he helped prepare you to go to college and become a great player.
To be honest, Coach Waldrop reminds me a lot of Coach Riley. He's all about business. But however, he cares about his men, he cares about his players, he cares to see them grow. He'll do whatever he has to do to see them grow. Whether it be bringing in new coaches or bringing in new schemes or bringing in new ways of working out. So he cares a lot about the men before he even does the player. And I think to connect with a player like that, I think that grows your camaraderie, that grows your bond. So, when you have a coach like that you're playing for, you really have no letback in playing hard for them. So I just think that's Coach Waldrop's attitude. He brought me in from crosstown rival Bob Jones, and from the day I came in, he took every bit of opportunity he had to grow me as a football player. So I love that about him.
All right. Well, he's going out to the West Coast, Drew. That means now he can get some In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, that he can.
See, we're a big thing on this show.
Yeah, we talk a lot of food on this show.
We talk a lot of food on this show. And
they didn't take you there on the visit, did they?
Yeah.
No, they did.
Oh,
okay, we just make sure because we're
you need to have Scott tip you off on what to order over there. I haven't ever had it, so
we're just jealous because you're actually going to the West Coast.
Yeah, man, but we look forward to the opportunity, man. We think you're going to do great things. We've certainly been following your career. We knew you were doing great at Georgia State. I thought you might be graduating, and then when Scott said you were in the portal, crazy. And I checked your Twitter account. You got a ton of offers. But then now to have a chance to go to a high-profile program that's playing in the Big Six, like with the Heisman Trophy winner in USC, man, it's an awesome for you and awesome for our city and our community to watch you. And hopefully you'll have that name called in the NFL draft soon too. But great career so far, Jamil, and we thank you for taking the time to join us and back in your home area, man.
Absolutely, I thank y'all. Fight on.
Yes, that's Jamil Muhammad.
Wow, giving us the USC Fight On.
That's right.
Great
opportunity for him, man.
We learned a lot about the portal.
It was really fascinating. All these forms you got to sign, man. It's worse than paying taxes.
That was a whole day. That was a whole day for him to go into the portal.
Then you got to get the head coach, the athletic director, and the compliance director, all that stuff. Dot all the I's, cross all the T's. Woo.
And then
Quite
you're
a process,
finally in the
man.
portal. All right. So it's not just like walking in being like, yo, I'm in the portal.
Nope, it's sure not.
All right. Let's get that final break in when we come back at tomorrow's headlines today.
Pretty awesome interview there.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're beginning to wind things down pretty quick now. Last reported wreck was on top of Useless northbound. No injury, so they should get it out of the way pretty quick. It may actually be gone already. Everything else looks good, winding down nicely this morning. Just be careful, watch for the folks in last-minute dash mode this morning. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but it sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right. The different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
Sometimes the best things in life are right in front of you. When's the last time you took time to enjoy everything Montesano State Park has to offer? So close to home, just 5 miles from downtown Huntsville, Montesano State Park sits on over 2,000 acres with spectacular vistas from atop Montesano Mountain. And right now is a great time to visit and enjoy all the fall colors. In just a few months, spring will arrive with native azaleas in bloom along the 20 miles of hiking trails and 14 miles of biking trails. And no matter when you visit, you can enjoy time in one of 11 stone cabins with working fireplaces, built in 1930 by the Civilian Conservation Corps. These historic cabins all sit on a bluff line that offers beautiful views from their screened-in porches. Prefer a more primitive camping experience? Montesano State Park offers improved and primitive camping year-round. If you're ready to take some time to slow down and get away, log on allapark.com and make your reservation now. That's allapark.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right. What was that song? Click, click, boom? I think is what it was. I think there was something like that.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Okay. About 3 days ago, Mel Kiper Jr.
Well, here we go.
Released his latest 2023 NFL draft. His updated rankings have Will Anderson Jr. and Jalen Carter 1 and 2
of Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter of Alabama. Of Georgia.
Number 3 on the list, Will Levis. Number 3 on the list, Will Levis.
Pain. Any organization that drafts Will Levis over Bryce Young, they ought to fire the entire front office. I just do not believe he's going to be a big-time quarterback in the NFL.
Number 3, Mel Kiper, number 3. Not just top 10, 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft.
Well, Zach Wilson was 2. And how did that work out? How good is he? He is absolutely pathetic. Because he threw against air and threw it 75 yards and can run a 4.6 40. That kid sucks. He's dumb as a stump. He can't read a defense. His own friggin' coaching staff benched him because they said he couldn't prepare.
There is something there that is attracting these NFL scouts.
I will say this. Will Levis is tough.
And
he is tough.
He's faced better competition.
He did play in the SEC. He didn't play against the Lincoln Sharman schedule. I'm just telling you. Levis did play in the SEC. I'll give him that. And
I just would love to talk to the scouts, though, and I'd love to talk to these people that they're talking to.
Jake Coker was tough, and Jake Coker didn't play in the NFL.
Right. I'd love for them to explain and put these quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Will Levis, and tell us, though, exactly, though, what is the pros and cons.
They won't admit it here, but what's hurting Bryce, the one thing that's going to hurt him is his size. Because he's just, he's under 6 feet.
That's what's helping Will Levis, though. His size is...
I know, he's 6'4". He can throw the ball 75 yards, and he can run it a little bit. He can take a hit, and, but he throws with 0 touch, no anticipation, can't scramble very well, get away from the rush to reload, because when he reloads, the other effing team runs it the other way. But, oh, well, that only gets you fired.
How was the cupcake?
It was good. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
You come equipped now. You got the glass. You have upgraded.
I'm not really an icing person, okay?
I know, but you have upgraded, though. You've ditched the 2-liter, and you are now drinking out of a real glass.
This is the Brandon here. Hello, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon, Our own Let's Go, Brandon.
Not the other one? Not the other meeting?
Well, he should be president, so that's all right.
Well, when you said that, I went the other way.
Whatever.
Hey, see everybody out at Flow Indoor Trampoline Park tonight, 4 to 8. Get on out there.
Fill the boat. Fill the boat. Fill the boat.